if I'm also thinking about like the whole thing and like the whole thing about Odysseus's thing being hubris, blah blah blah, and also Odysseus's thing being using his brain, blah blah blah.
Welcome everybody back. Welcome back, I should say, because this is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 of this tier list, go watch that on my channel. And yes, we are ranking Epic the Musical songs based on their like story importance and how well they're written. But we have a separate little mini-series 2-parter on Meadow's channel. I'm joined by Meadow below me, and she over on her channel, we have ranked them based on like the actual music and how much we like to sing them and vibe with them and the actual music part. But here on El Delta, we're all about the story. We're all about the story implications. And we covered I think my most opinionated songs already, but there is still plenty of room for conflict in Act 2 here. So we can start off with Suffering. Good old Siren Suffering. Where did I have Suffering? I had Suffering in B tier. I think it's fun, and it's I think a cool little break. It's almost like a fake out. It's like a mid-story fake out, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I love the whole fake out element of Suffering into different beasts, so I think leaving it at B is good. I had it at C because I'm like,
really?
I guess I had a Lissa moment where I was like, what crucial information happens here other than, oh my god, the lair of Scylla. This is your only way home.
Oh, so now you're all about efficiency.
I don't know why I was for that one ranking, but that was how I thought about it.
Yeah, it like...
But no, I'll put it at B, at solid.
It's more so
what it does.
It's more so an external, like, all right, now they know how to get home, whereas Different Beast is where it's like, you know, spoiler alert, I had Different Beast in A. Different Beast is like where they show his internal change. And I think Different Beast is, you know, the perfect way of, oh, we're ruthless now. Like he has turned off his emotions. The switch has fully happened. He told us he was going to do it in Monster, and for some playwrights that would have been enough. But Jorge knows actions speak louder than words. So he had him fuck up some sirens, and I think that was the right call.
Okay. You know what? You have justified the placement of Different Beast to me, and I will agree.
Where did you have it?
I had it in B as well. I love Different Beast as a song. I have it placed very high in the video on my channel. But I don't know, like, you explained it to me very well in that very short thing that you said, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, like the fact that he does physically go and mess up some sirens to prove the fact that he becomes the monster, like, yeah. But part of me
say you're
was
a changed
saying,
man all you want, but you need to show it.
Right.
What was part of you saying?
Yes. Well, I realized that I was thinking about a different song. Actually, the song that we're coming up to next.
Is it Skyla?
Skyla.
The layer of Skyla? I had this in S. I had this in S because it is the perfect step up from he's willing to kill monsters now instead of spare them to he's willing to kill his own crew. Like, okay, maybe this is a step too far, and I think that is brilliant.
Yeah, I do think it's brilliant, but like this was just a question that I was having while I was trying to make the ranking for this video before we filmed this video. But I was just thinking about how impactful the end of Thunderbringer and the choice that he makes would have been if that had been the first moment that he turned against his crew rather than the whole mutiny thing happened. But like mutiny and Thunderbringer are necessary. That was just a little tidbit of thought that I had. You know what I was saying?
You're saying like you think Thunderbringer would have been more impactful if
I'm not
it
like
came out of
making
the blue?
A statement. I'm not like making a statement. I'm saying like I can't help but wonder what this world could be. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying I think.
Well, now you're just quoting the musical.
No, I'm always doing that. You have to pointing out the things I do.
True.
You know what? Yeah.
I'll let this rip right now. I had Scylla, Mutiny, Thunderbringer, SSS. This is the best sequence in the entire show.
Okay, like yeah. I had them ranked low. I don't know.
Honestly, if there was a tier above S, I might put this group like right above this tier. Like this is top.
I do, you know, yeah. I'm over here like, aren't you tired, Lissa? It's been 2 hours. How long will this go?
I am tired, but like My God.
No, I will. I want to argue, but I also don't because, like, I love Thunder Saga, but I'm thinking about how much I love listening to it. I'm looking at this tier list I made. I'm like, why did I put them so low?
Where did you put
I must
Mutiny
have had some
Thunderbringer?
sort of. Well, okay, Mutiny I had an S.
Okay.
But I had Thunderbringer in A, but I had Suffering Scylla Different Beast in B.
Okay, and I think that's fair because this is the reason these are so good is because this into this into this is the perfect like height, like ramping up into this. Thunder
Right.
Saga best
like,
saga.
I think you just put Scylla a lot higher than I did, and also just moved Thunderbringer up one, which honestly I can accept.
I could see Scylla being
Like-
A because honestly, a lot of the reasons I spoke about Scylla being top tier, like how they confront him for sacrificing the men, that's really all what happens in Mutiny, actually. So maybe do you want Scylla in A? I could live with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, because I don't know. The more that I think about it in this moment, I'm like, Meadow, your brain is tired, so maybe you're not thinking about it deeply. But also, you're making a lot of sense to me about why Scylla is so impactful as a song. And then I'm thinking about the first time I listened through Thunder Saga, like plot wise, and I'm like, yeah, like it is a really, I think part of me thought that the whole "I opened the windbag," it's like we at that point when I was listening to it, I knew it was Eurylochus who opened the windbag. A lot of us
so at this point were you like, I know, stop dragging it out?
Yeah, I was like, Eurylochus, shut up. Like, and that's why it was.
That's dramatic irony. We know, but the characters don't.
Well, but the thing is, I think Odysseus also knew, and I think that's why his response was so cold.
I love that it's ambiguous whether or not he knows, because he doesn't react. He doesn't fucking react when Eurylochus says this. So it's like, oh my God, did he know? And he was just like not saying anything.
I think that Odysseus knew the minute that Eurylochus was trying to confess something and puppeteer, and that was why he turned him away. He just didn't want to hear it. I think that he knew the whole time, which was why the payoff of him going, Eurylochus, light up six torches, was so satisfying.
Because he assumed Eurylochus would probably keep one of those torches?
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. He definitely assumed that Eurylochus was going to keep one of those torches instead of passing it off. Like,
damn.
And I feel like that's why Eurylochus is so pressed in Mutiny. Like, it's not something that's said, but I've seen it in a lot of the animatics where it's like Eurylochus has lit up the torches. He has one, but then he sees what's happening and then he's like, nah, and he passes it to someone else.
I'll also say this is definitely S because it's meant to be an emotional moment. Right? It's meant to elicit a lot of emotion from the audience. That's its job. And this is ranking like, how well a song does its job. I cried a little bit at 600 Strike, just a tiny bit, because I was so excited and happy that I was like almost tearing up. And then I cried at I Can't Help But Wonder, and I cried at Would You Fall in Love With Me Again. But I never cried as hard as I did at Thunderbringer. That ruined me. I was having a games night with my friends. We were playing Catan, and we had it on the TV because I was like, guys, I'm sorry, I can't miss this. And then I stepped away from Catan once Thunderbringer came on. It was like, I need to see how this ends. And they were like, Liam, are you going to be okay?
He stepped away from Catan, guys.
That's how into it I was. You don't step away from Catan. That game is long enough as is. Okay.
True.
Legendary. I had Legendary in A tier, really? I would consider it A or B. Where are you plopping Legendary?
I don't know. Part of my brain is still stuck on Thunderbringer, but I don't want to go back and like.
Really?
Like, I'm the one that's dragging this on.
No. We can keep talking about Thunderbringer. I will talk about Thunderbringer till the cows come home. Till the sun cows come home.
Thunderbringer is placed, but like I was just very surprised about what you said, that it's like that's the song that makes you cry.
Are you kidding me? Imagine having to make that choice. All of your friends, the people you are personally responsible for, you have to kill them to make it home to your wife, and you do? That would ruin you. Think of the thing you've done in your life that has made you feel the most guilty. Multiply that by 43.
Yeah, I just feel like he's had moments like this, though. It's like, I don't know. Like, it feels so extreme to me. I'm like, yeah, oh no, the whole crew. Oh my God, it's almost the same exact thing as Poseidon coming and wiping out everybody, and then there's only 43 left under your command. Except
that is crazy to say, considering you call your fandom your crew. You heard it here, folks. Folks. Meadow would sacrifice you in a heartbeat.
No, Liam is gaslighting you right now. I've made it very clear to my audience that I am not Odysseus. This musical is about Odysseus. It is not about me. Do not get it mistaken, chat. Epic the Musical is not about me, okay? It was never about me. Don't
now
make
I'm starting to think it might be about
right?
you.
It's not.
You
Liam,
denied it so much that I sort of looped back around. Now I think you might be trying to hide something.
You think I'm trying to hide something, or am I just explaining accurately?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Anything else you want to say about
stuck on the
Thunderbringer?
way you said that I can't. There's so many things I could, but I think we just gotta move on. I will accept where it is, and yeah, I'll talk about stuff that makes me cry later. What's next song?
Next song is Legendary. And I had this in A, which I'm surprised about because I guess it does a really good job of introducing the suitors and how shitty they are. It introduces Telemachus.
I also had it in A.
Which Telemachus sits in a foggy valley for me of like, yeah, he's important to the story, but would the story suffer so much without him? Like, he doesn't really do anything. Like, if you cut Legendary and Little Wolf and didn't really have him do much in Odysseus, like, the show would relatively be the same, you know? I guess, no, he helps Athena see stuff, so it is important. Yeah, never mind. I talked myself out
Meadow,
of that.
this is just epic.
Uh-oh.
Just epic.
Do you have
Only
some deep internalized feelings?
It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've read the Odyssey, but there's so much stuff that's like acting like saying, "Oh my god, what if Telemachus was cut out?" I'm just like, what if Telemachus was cut out? Like, you can't. But that's no, Meadow. That's not epic. Think about what Lissam's saying about epic. And it's, you know, I kind of get what you mean, where if those songs were gone, but it's like, then where would Antinuous be? You know, what would replace them? Like if we didn't have, like, especially with the way that the Odyssey goes, like, you get more of the legendary Wisdom Saga stuff in the beginning of the Odyssey than you do, like, and then it goes back into telling everything else. Like, the chronological order is different, but like here they put legendary. I think it's really smart to like put all of this where it is.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a good choice. I don't know. I think the song is executed very well. It sets up the whole scene in Ithaca in a way where it's like, it's okay that we've only been here for one song. We know exactly what the heck is going on and what's been going on for the amount of time we've been gone.
I think it's really cool that the canon designs for Telemachus and Antinuous are like opposites of each other. Like if you look at their shoes, you know, Telemachus has straps on the front, Antinuous has straps on the back, or maybe that's the other way around. I don't quite remember.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I did a whole animatic animating just those two characters and I can't even remember. But they, like, they're opposite in every way, and character-wise, like, he is the hopeful, you know, everything will work out in the end, and Antinuous is like the, no, you have to do what it takes to survive. And so, yeah, I think Legendary is sort of necessary to get that dichotomy that really, you know, makes one shine over the, you know, can't have darkness without light kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's normally the other way around.
Yeah.
And then there's Little Wolf. I had Little Wolf in
it does
B.
great.
I think
Legendary does great as at introducing the suitors. Little Wolf is just a fight song, and I feel like the relevant thing that it establishes is that Athena and Telemachus have a connection.
Yeah, which, you know, it does its job. I think that lands it in B tier. Doesn't do it, you know, with flying colors. We already kind of know that the suitors are shitty and Legendary, so just really drives home him
specifically. Actually, look at what I did. I also had it in B tier, so it works for me.
All right. We'll be fine. I had this in
S tier.
B, but I would argue for A.
S.
S?
S.
Okay.
Okay.
Defend your S position.
This
she's
song,
powering up.
I'm trying to power up the best that I can with the little strength that I have. But this song, I remember in, please go watch the video on my channel. Liam has an opinion about this song, and I feel like his opinion about this song from that analysis is why I like this song so much as a song in the musical. It is so soft, it's so tender, it's a happy, beautiful moment, and it shows, like, you know, Telemachus literally is Odysseus's kid. It's like a direct, you know, transcendent, her getting a new whatever the heck it is.
Whatever his last name is.
Things. Yeah, whatever.
Ithaca.
Freaking Odyssey. What even is going on anymore? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But We'll Be Fine as a song is so, I don't know, something about it. If I feel like you just need that breath. Like there are some songs in this musical that give you that breath in the middle of all of this dark shit happening, excuse my language, in the middle of all of this dark plot
Crud.
happening in this musical. In between all of it, like, if it was just dark thing after dark thing after dark thing, like, that gets exhausting. And having this moment where you get to see, like, the same thing that Open Arms kind of does, like, later on, like, it establishes and makes, like, her coming back and I Can't Help But Wonder, like, so impactful when she talks to Odysseus. Like, she's literally going through, like, we said this in our analysis video, I think, a while back, that Odysseus and Athena have, like, direct opposite character journeys, where Athena has to learn to, you know, do the open arms thing, and Odysseus has to, like, really, you know, lock in on the ruthlessness. And by the time they get to the end, they're exactly, they are each other, essentially. They had switched places.
Yeah.
And I think that Will Be Fine shows the transition into that moment and how she is able to open her mind to this other way of living. And that's through mentoring Telemachus that she becomes that way. And, like, it gives you so much Athena context, and also makes Telemachus being in the musical matter. Like, Telemachus being in the musical matters. We love Telemachus in the musical. But, like, I mean, in relation to what Liam was saying earlier, like, about how, oh, maybe, like, Telemachus could have been cut out and it still would have been effective. Like, having his relationship with Athena be what it is makes him being in the musical so important, because it helps bring everything to that final moment that I think matters.
You have convinced me.
I said
Yes,
a
it
lot
is.
of words. Did I?
Yeah,
Really?
absolutely. Those were some really good points.
Were they actually, or was I saying nothing?
No, don't doubt yourself. That was brilliant.
I'm doubting. The seeds
You're
of the
so
doubt
right.
are too
This is like,
deep.
the more I think about it, the more I'm like ruminating on how the song actually went. And it at first I was like, oh, she switches to Open Arms out of nowhere in this song. But the more I think about it, I'm like, no, she very clearly explains, like, I lost someone that I, you know, sort of considered a friend, though I would never say it to his face. And that hurt me a lot more than I thought it should. And now I feel bad about it, and I feel regret. And he's like, okay, go make it right. He doesn't even say that. He's just like, you're going to be okay.
It's not even that. It's like, he hears her say this about herself, and he accepts her fully, despite the fact that she has just admitted her flaws. And she's like, oh, and he's like, okay, be my friend then. Like, let's do it right. Like, let's do things better. Like, he literally, I don't know, Telemachus has, like, some Polites-esque traits, like, in that moment, where he's just like, you know, I hear that you had this really difficult thing happen and that you feel that it's your fault. And I'm still going to be like, all right, bet. I will lock in with you. We are going to create a better world. And it's just nice. It's nice to know that that's, I don't know, because you get Odysseus's whole journey into ruthlessness. But I feel like having Athena's, you know, through Wisdom Saga, her journey to, you know, having open arms, it is also a really strong journey in the musical that wouldn't be the same if Will Be Fine was not there. I said more Will Be Fine words. We can move on now. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm happy with it in S now, though. Love in Paradise. Love in Paradise I had in S tier. And I think it is because I don't know why I had it in S tier. I would argue A, actually.
I also had it in S. I mean, are you comfortable keeping it there?
Yeah, I can put it in S. I'm just, when I'm trying to think of a defense for S, I'm like, okay, what happened that, you know, really drove the story forward? I guess it was her finding him, feeling bad. The time dive was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also thinking about impact, like, of the plot itself and of the musical when you're listening to it, or when you would be watching it on a stage. That ending is so powerful, and you see Odysseus at his weakest point. And I feel like having that moment where you see him just break makes the moments later where he gets everything done and he is able to become the monster so much more satisfying when you get to them, because you know that he's gotten to this point where he's completely at his lowest, and he was still able to go and do everything that he wanted to do despite that.
Man's hit rock bottom. And that, yeah, you're right. That makes the ending so much better. Seeing him at probably the worst you can possibly be in as a human, like seeing ghosts of the world's worst guilt. Yeah, that's crazy.
And thinking that you're just going to be stuck like that forever until you die.
Yeah.
Never see your wife again. None of
but
that.
Clearly
like,
he
his
had
life
hope
was
because he built the
essentially
raft.
over. He had hope. He built the raft, and he was willing to call out to Athena, even though he hadn't heard from her in that long. And bang,
The fact that he knew that she was his only hope is a brilliant detail. Like, he knew no one else was coming.
Okay, this is me going off, but like, do you conceptually? I guess this is just a side thing. Do you think that that's the only moment like he's tried to talk to her in the span of time?
Oh no, he probably prays to her every night.
Okay, I think the same thing.
Yeah.
So sad. Emo Odysseus headcanons, we need to move on.
Well, when she says she has magic that, like, keeps him bound there, he probably goes, okay, what gods would vouch for me? Maybe he also prays to Hermes to show up, but...
Right, he's like, Hermes, please, like...
He showed up for no reason before, you can show up for no reason now.
Can you show up for no reason now? I mean, hey.
He kind of does.
We're about
Not
to
for no
there.
reason. God Games.
For a reason. God Games is the reason.
I would say God Games is A tier. It is.
Do I also?
I think God Games actually does.
Mm-hmm.
I think its pacing is done really well. I know a lot of people. I said this in the last video, or actually, I think I said this in the video on your channel, that a lot of people say God Games should have been a whole saga. No, that would have slowed the pace of the musical to a crawl. I think one song was enough. A very long song, mind you.
Absolutely.
Is it the longest in the show? I think it might be.
It's long, but it doesn't feel long because of all of the ways it's broken
so
up. And
snappy.
I think that's so smart.
It is a mini saga in and of itself. And it shows how much Athena is willing to fight for him. It showcases her primary character trait being, quick-witted and able to talk her way out of any situation. And then, oh, come on, Athena getting struck down. I forgot to mention that I cried at that part too.
I also just love conceptually how yeah, it's kind of a surface level thing, but Athena's whole thing is her ability to interact with and stretch and put time in different ways. And the fact that God Games is so it gives that same energy as her doing the time dive. That's who she is as a goddess. She moves quickly, she gets things done, she's smart, like you were saying. Yeah, absolutely. I think
what I most love about God Games isn't even the way it characterizes Athena, it's the way it characterizes Zeus. And it is maybe the only time I have ever appreciated a character being so one-dimensional. Zeus is all about shame and pride, the two sides of that coin. And that is all he cares about. He talks about pride as his damsel in Thunderbringer, and I was like, okay, that's a cool analogy, but then when it keeps coming up as a thing in this, for a man full of shame, and then you dare to defy me to make me feel shame, clearly the only thing he cares about is his pride. That is his one character trait, and he is villainous for that one reason.
Yeah.
Or just because he is one-dimensional. I've never seen a character use their one-dimensionality as basically a second trait that makes him three-dimensional, if I'm making any sense there. But I think God Games did a great job of that.
You make a lot of sense. I almost feel like I would dislike it if we had too much context about Zeus. It makes him more powerful as an antagonist in the musical.
And
he is so one-dimensional, yeah.
A running theme in Greek mythology is we're helpless against the gods. The gods basically rule everything. You don't really stand up to them. They are more of a narrative plot device than anything else, blah, 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 blah. And the helplessness is felt so much in God Games because he says, if you can win my game, I'll release him. And then she wins his game and he goes, actually, I'm not going to release him. You intuitively think, all right, he's going to get his comeuppance for that. He cheated. He didn't stick to his word. But no. He's just the king of gods, so what are you going to do? No, he gets his way. And that helplessness you feel as an audience member, oh yes, perfect. Okay, and now we're on to Vengeance Saga. Not Sorry for Loving You.
Okay, what did I do with this? Okay, I think I put Not Sorry for Loving You in S. I'm not going to lie.
Really? I had it in C.
It's not... That's fair. Okay, I don't know. I'm not going to be able to argue Not Sorry for Loving You at this time of night with when I have to get up tomorrow accurately. I'm just not going to be able to.
I would like the watchers to know.
it requires so much nuance to do this right now, and I can't do it. I'm so tired.
I would like the watchers to know, I said to Meadow, it's getting late. Are you going to be able to record that? Like, are you, like, we can record this another day? And she went, nah, I can do it. I can power through.
I don't have another day.
And now
I don't have, I'm
struggling.
in Charybdis. You don't understand.
You're in
I don't
Charybdis?
think you seem to get it. Literally, like,
what does that mean?
Metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, don't say literally.
I didn't mean it literally. I just had to say metaphorically.
You said literally.
Because you would think literally. No.
You said
literally?
You said literally and then immediately caught yourself.
You're cutting all of this or I'm going to strangle you. This is for the patrons only. If you leave this in, I will never collaborate with you again.
That's a risk I'm willing to take. It's too good.
Oh my god! I hate you! Because I thought about it a little more deeply. I was like, yeah, I say literally offhandedly a lot. I probably did say it then. This displays my short-term memory loss accurately for the chat. But I'm willing to compromise it by putting it in a middle place. I just cannot do the brain power to talk about that song right now.
Okay.
I can't.
Dangerous, I had B tier. It is for me very much like Storm and like Full Speed Ahead, where it's basically just a setting the scene transition song. It's a journey song. It's a travel song, you know?
Yeah.
The big thing for me is that, spoiler alert, I had Charybdis in D, and I think Dangerous could have absorbed Not Sorry for Loving You or Charybdis. I think Dangerous could have been expanded to be more than just travel. It could have been travel into the boss fight. Or it could have been, you know, all right, Hermes shows up and lets him go, blah, 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 into Dangerous. The reason I had Charybdis in D, what the hell purpose does this boss fight serve? It is awesome. I had this in S tier, I think, S or A, for how much I love the song itself. But what does it do? What does it do for the story? It's just a random pit stop.
Yeah, I had it in S.
In S? Okay, another full tier list division. Explain.
But like the things that you're saying make sense to me. But Charybdis as a song in the overall project, the fact that it's a standalone, it's the only song where Odysseus is kind of by himself. I mean, yeah, you have the Charybdis roar, if you really want to count that as vocals. You know, Odysseus in that moment, he's empowering himself. There's no one else. This dialogue, he's only singing to himself in that moment. And for me, when I was listening to the musical, there was something so powerful about the fact that it was literally like that song's purpose is literally just Odysseus. Like, yeah, like you're saying it could be cut, but I'm like, I feel like the impact that it has as a standalone song, serving the purpose of showing that he's not going to give up. I found it to be very impactful on me as a listener to Epic. I don't know. You don't have to agree. I'd be willing to put it somewhere in the middle because I really like it.
I mean,
and
B
I'm
tier
not
seems
feeling
perfect
aggressive
for that.
Oh, Liam, I'll just say yes. I'll cry. Let's move on.
Well, no, I don't want you to cry.
If
you need to keep arguing your point, go right ahead.
No. Let's move on. Please.
Okay. Get in the Water. I also had in B. We sort of know Poseidon's like. Okay, I started talking a little bit about this in your video and then caught myself. I was much more a fan of the cut song In Vain that like had Poseidon a little more humanized almost. And maybe that's why it was cut, is they didn't want him to be humanized. But Get in the Water was disappointing to me because it wasn't the In Vain song. It's just reiterating what we already know about Poseidon. And it's sort of the lead up to the better song, in my opinion, which is 600 Strike.
Man, all right. I feel like this is where we're going to have beef. So I have Get in the Water and 600 Strike at C tier.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah,
I can deal with that.
Okay, so I don't know what it was about Get in the Water, but I don't know. It was one of my more anticipated songs, and plot-wise, it didn't really hit for me. And like, I don't know, like I know that Epic is all about like this whole like big boss fight thing and like all of this stuff, but I don't know. This sequence, get in the water, 600 strike. Like I was like in the reaction, you see, like I really enjoyed it, but like if I'm thinking about it conceptually, like also I didn't really like the windbag jetpack. I'm just gonna say it. I didn't really like
Oh,
it. I also
loved it.
I didn't I did not really like it as a plot device. I also didn't really like that Odysseus was able to physically overpower Poseidon at all because I feel like it just changes the entire purpose of what his character is. Like he gets to have this moment where he's 600 strikes, like it's epic, it's big, it's cool, but Odysseus's whole character is that he uses his brain. Like it was not satisfying for me when I was listening to it like after, because like yeah, it's cool, I love it, I love epic, but I'm saying like if I'm looking at it on a deep analytical level,
Which is what we're here for.
I know, I have to defend myself because
so you're sort of talking about 600 strike now, like, which I said it was in S.
But I can't, like I loved it when I was listening to it, but I just don't know how I feel about Odysseus being able to physically overpower Poseidon. And I wish he had done something that was more,
I would
using
argue
his
he didn't.
brain to defeat. Really? Like,
I think he did use his brain. He said, okay, I can't beat a god because I'm a man. What do I have at my disposal?
Yeah.
I have the bag that holds these godly winds. Maybe if I combine it with myself, I now have the speed to, again, I can't physically overpower him, but I can outspeed him because I have divine wind.
But do you know that when you're listening to the song that that's what happens?
No, that is a big thing.
If you're not watching the animatic, do you know that? No. And also, how could you make that happen theoretically on a, like, okay, I know that epic isn't like there's talks out there about what epic is meant to be. Some people say it should be on stage. Some people say it shouldn't. I think it should be an anime. I think that because of 600 strike, I'm like, how would you do that on stage? That specific thing. Like it makes it so it's more difficult to translate to stage, but because epic, maybe it's meant to be something like an anime. It's not meant to be a stage production. Like I'm looking at it and analyzing it too much as if it were supposed to be a stage production because I don't know. And also I'm just thinking about Odysseus as a character and what he does throughout the entirety of the show. I'm less satisfied when Odysseus comes because of 600 strike. I wish that Odysseus was the big moment where Odysseus became the monster instead of 600 strike. He's able to overpower Poseidon. Like, yeah, he can't kill him, but what? Like, he makes him go, okay, I'm tired. Please, Odie, stop. Okay, I'll let you go. Like, please stop stabbing me. Like, Poseidon, what the frick frack patty whack, man? Like, what is that? Why are you letting yourself get Swiss cheesed? You're Poseidon.
That's another reason I'm happy. Bro. You actually very much convinced me to put Get in the Water in C, and I'm actually quite happy with that. I might even move it down to D, honestly, because the last time Poseidon wasn't able to kill Odie, it's because he was making a spectacle out of it. He was saying, I'm going to make you watch as I kill everybody else, and then Odie had time to windbag away. You would think when he catches him again, he would just get straight to the point and kill him, instead of monologuing and giving him another chance to prepare.
Well, I love the monologue, but dude, like, I don't like the fact that, oh my god, windbag jetpack, oh my god, I combine it with myself and I can stab Poseidon until he cries like a baby and then says, okay, I'll let you go home. Like, that's not satisfying to me. That's so crazy.
Mean. No, hey, we are not being mean, we are being analytical.
I love epic!
And everybody knows that.
No! I'm so scared that people won't, Liam.
Bro, you've made epic like your entire livelihood.
Epic is my life, guys. Please don't cancel me. But yeah, I just wish that I like the songs. I like listening to them. Remember when we reacted? I loved the Vengeance Saga, but I almost wish that things had happened differently looking at it now. I still love it. I still will listen to it. I'll still enjoy it, but I just wonder what could have happened instead that might have made more sense cohesively throughout the entire project, in my mind, at least.
That's wild to me. This was the most satisfying moment.
Sorry. It was really satisfying. And okay, you can move it up to A or B because it is really satisfying. I experienced that satisfaction. And when I'm not thinking about the stage production and when I'm not thinking about all of that stuff and I'm just thinking about listening to Epic, yeah, I love 600 Strike. But if I'm also thinking about like the whole thing and like the whole thing about Odysseus's thing being hubris, blah, 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 and also Odysseus's thing being using his brain, blah, blah, blah. This is just a moment where it's like, that's why it, for me, if the Ares motif was real, I would have liked this a lot more. Like I would have,
Really?
because if the red eyes thing was, yes, because it would have made sense why he was getting so aggressive and being able to lock in. It would have been because of Ares's help instead of just out of freaking nowhere. Like, I don't know, like it would have made more sense to me. Maybe I'm spitting nothing because of how late it is and how much sleep I have and when I have to get up, guys. But that's just how I was thinking about it. I don't know. This is my controversial opinion. I love 600 Strike, but yeah.
Wait, do you love 600 Strike or? Yeah,
I
well,
love it. We're putting it there.
We're putting it in A. Okay.
Yeah, can you put it in B?
I can.
I
disagree wholeheartedly, but I can do this for you, Meadow.
Thank you, Liam. I'm sorry, guys. Just know that it's in S. In the real tier list.
In the real tier list? This is the real tier list.
What am I saying? Okay, hold on. Let's get to Ithaca Saga.
Yeah, final saga. All right, where do you have the challenge?
The challenge. I have the challenge
I have it in B.
S.
S? Why is it S?
This is so funny. You're gonna be like, Meadow, why did you put a whole saga in S?
No, you did not put all of Ithaca in S.
I did not put all of Ithaca in S. I did not put all of Ithaca in S. In fact, you're gonna hate me for what I put in hold on.
Is it
Let
Odysseus?
me think. Yeah.
Is everything in S but Odysseus?
Yes.
Meadow! Is your tier list just one long line of S and then like 5 songs not in S? Holy shit!
So
that's the entire show.
Well, listen, see how we don't have a D tier? That's the same thing that happened to me over here.
Oh, I have a D tier. You just wouldn't let me put anything in D tier.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
So you have challenge in S?
Remember how I did this really fast and was crashing out about it? So let's think about this. Like, I did have the challenge in S. I love the way that it brings Penelope into the story. I don't know. I just love the challenge. Maybe I can just put it in B or A because I just love the challenge. Maybe I'm being biased. So I'll move it out of S.
What does it do so well that you think it would be S?
I don't know. Maybe it's less about what it does well and more so about how it impacted me when I listened to it and how I would feel if it was changed or cut or any of that. And I don't know. I just like what it does. I'm not going to be able to argue it very. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy, guys. So like, hey, please be nice to me and accept that I'm accepting.
All the comments are just going to be Liam, let Meadow sleep. For the love of God, let the woman sleep.
I volunteered to be here, guys. I swear, I volunteered to be here.
I saw that wink. I fucking saw that wink.
You didn't see shit.
Or you're just so tired that your eye is twitching.
Oh
I had the challenge at B because really all it does is set the scene for, the slaughter about to happen. Anna's performance is one of the most impressive in the show in this.
I need to let that go for this ranking.
It's so hard to think of it apart from that.
And that's hard for me, and that's exactly why I was crashing out about where we were going to put Warrior of the Mind and everything, because I was like, I can't not think about Tegan's performance when I'm thinking about Warrior of the Mind. It's so hard to not consider it.
Hold them down.
Yeah, but
A or S? S? Okay.
S.
That's
Villain
fine by me. It is,
song supreme.
Think of another villain song that makes you hate the villain as much as this.
Literally.
You can't. Oh, wait. You can't. I don't think anything more needs to be said there.
Exactly.
Odysseus, perfect culmination of this man is willing to do whatever it takes. Where did you put Odysseus? Because you didn't put it in S.
Oh, God, but I'm trying to remember why I did the things I did so that you don't crash out when I tell you that I had Odysseus at B.
I can live with that.
Well, I don't remember why I put... Meadow! Why did you put Odysseus in B? Because, I do love Odysseus. I love what happens in it. I do love how condensed it is. I love how powerful of a moment it is in the musical. Yeah, what the heck? I don't know why I put Odysseus lower than I Can't Help But Wonder and Would You Fall in Love with Me Again. What the heck? Odysseus is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Nah, put that put that thing in S.
I had it in S because I love morally gray stories and morally gray characters, and nothing is more morally gray than this final slaughter that is admittedly so badass, but like, did he need to kill every suitor? Did he need to paint the palace red? Like, my guy, maybe a little far.
Yeah.
And seeing it from the perspective of everyone else, seeing Odysseus, and just the fact that Jorge made this song called Odysseus, and when every other monster has had like a song dedicated to it, basically, just by the name.
I love that too.
Oh, he is the final boss fight. That's so cool. And then
yes, I
can't help but wonder. I had in A tier. I think it's a great reunion song, and yeah, does its job well.
I don't know. I was just thinking about, like, even though it's so funny because of my ranking of I Can't Help But Wonder in the other video, but I felt like the payoff from both I Can't Help But Wonder and Would You Fall in Love with Me Again was satisfying enough where I thought that they were S tier songs. Like, because part of me is like, I Can't Help But Wonder makes Telemachus being in the musical matter so much to me. Like, so much more than it would if it wasn't there. Like, and you get all this setup, and then if there was all this setup and then I Can't Help But Wonder was different, I don't know if I would have liked it as much. Like, I really enjoy seeing the reunion and how positive it is. And then Would You Fall in Love with Me Again? Like, I don't know. Like,
I'm curious.
Do I have to really say anything about that? Like, where do you have it?
Would You Fall in Love with Me Again?
Yeah.
I'm not done talking about this. I want to know.
Whoa.
Which part did you prefer? The Telemachus part or the Athena part? Because for me, the Athena part went way harder, except for, I think this whole song is carried by, My son, I'm finally home. Like that, made me break down. What were your thoughts on the Athena part versus Telemachus?
That's what I'm trying to, like, yeah. I thought that the payoff of Athena's part was very satisfying, but I don't know, like, yeah, the big, like, My son, I'm finally home moment. But I thought that the dialogue between them in I Can't Help But Wonder was good and well executed, as, like, it's literally the first time they're seeing each other in, and I just thought that the way it was written, that it was well done. I'm saying a whole lot of gibberish. Oh my god,
no,
please just...
that's an interesting point, because I thought the opposite. I thought
really
the dialogue between them felt a little gratuitous. Like, hold on, let me wake up and look up the lyrics. I loved the My Son, I'm Finally Home, and I loved the Athena reunion, but
this
the dialogue...
is the song I never listened to.
Oh, okay.
So
the dialogue between him and Telemachus felt like they wouldn't be talking and getting all philosophical. They would be running to each other and embracing immediately. Like, come on.
You think?
I think so.
You think?
Odysseus has been dreaming of his son for 20 years, and Telemachus has wanted to know his father for so long.
You don't think that you would be a little bit nervous or, like, a little bit weirded out? Like, oh my god, like, the moment's finally happening. Like, you don't think you might...
If it was the first time they were seeing each other, yes. If not after Odysseus just saved Telemachus' life by stabbing the guy that was about to cut off his hands. Like, that sort of breaks the ice, you know?
Yeah, well, I guess I'm just thinking about emotional impact looking at the lyrics. It's like, Telemachus finally gets to say what he's always wanted to say to Odysseus, and Odysseus finally gets to say what he's always wanted to say to Telemachus, and the catharsis of that and the payoff of that is so satisfying to me. Like, yeah, it seems simple, but, like, the fact that Telemachus gets to say to his father, Dad, I felt so alone, and Odysseus gets to say, I thought of you the whole time, and he gets to hear that, like, that moment is so powerful in the musical, and that's why I had it at S.
Yeah, I can compromise to S, certainly. And that leaves one.
Okay, now I gotta... So, where did you have this?
I had this in B.
Oh, really?
A wonderful ending to the show. I think there was a problem with... There's no way this ending, no matter what, could possibly have lived up to what Jorge had set up. Because he did such a perfect job of this dream of seeing his wife again, the only thing in his mind, and therefore the only thing in the audience's mind. There's no way he could have possibly lived up to the stage he set himself.
What?
And I think he did.
I think that he does.
I think he did as well as he possibly could have, hence the B. But by virtue of having put himself in an impossible position, I feel like I can't justify higher than a B.
I find it interesting that you think it's an impossible position. Like, I think that I think that Would You Fall in Love with Me Again does exactly what it needs to do. And even just like the little choices, like when you can hear Odysseus and Penelope breathing, like, oh my God.
That's brilliant.
Like, you can experience the tension that they're experiencing just through tiny choices like that. The whole plot of the song and Penelope having that moment where she shows like she is Odysseus's wife, you know? Well, I don't want to say that. The whole thing is like, you're my husband. Hold on. Let me sit back for this one. Let me sit back and let me think really hard before I say.
I think I know where you're going with this, and
like
it's one of the parts that bugs me is like up until a certain point you're wondering, okay, is he being like metaphorical or is he really saying literally I'm a different man? And then it feels like she catches him in a technicality, like, oh, only my husband would have known that, and therefore, you know, I still love you, which is a really weird way for them to think about their love to me. I thought it was unconditional, and she felt like
it is unconditional. I think that she's convincing Odysseus that he is the man that she fell in love with. It's not like a matter of like, because Odysseus is trying to say, I'm not the same, and Penelope is like, you're the same man that built that bed. Like, yeah, only my husband knew that fact, but like, you know, you were there. Like, that literally happened. And like, after being away for 20 years and experiencing everything that Odysseus experienced, it's like, you know, she needed to kind of bring him back to earth. And like,
but you're pointing out exactly what bugs me is how literal it is, because everything else in the show is so brilliantly mixed in with like metaphor and nuanced subtext, and then the very end is just like so blatantly literal and in your face.
The Olive Tree?
I know that there was a cut song called Olive Tree that was originally the last song. I don't know how it goes.
I don't know it super, super well, but like it is very, very pretty, and I feel like there might be more context in it. Yes, I can see what you're saying about how it's so literal, but I don't know, like the fact that she references something that is like this is going to sound like kind of like a stretch, but like something that's physically there, like a bed, like in there, like something that has been there the entire time and that has not moved. Like Odysseus has lost everything. That tree is rooted in the ground and nothing has been able to move it. And nothing
like
has been able to move. Yeah. And like, I know it's like literal, I guess, but I thought that the metaphor was like very sweet and also executed very well. I don't know. I liked it. But if we can find some sort of compromise.
You have talked me up to A. Certainly.
I'll accept A.
Okay. Does that complete our list then?
There's no D.
I can't believe you didn't let me have a single D. That's wild.
How unfortunate for you. I'm sorry.
This should be right there. No, not this. Sorry, not that. Well, maybe that. This should be right here.
I'm not even gonna.
Well, that completes our Epic the Musical tier list based on story. And thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much, Meadow, for joining me and doing this collab at 12:30 in the morning.
Doing what we gotta do. I had an amazing time. No, I'm looking at this list now. I'm like,
are you happy with it? It's a little top heavy.
It's interesting. Yeah, a little.
But hey, Epic is an incredible show, and it's going to do great things because it's so brilliantly written.
Hard to tier list this. It was so hard to tier list this at all, but I'm interested in tier listing it in other ways. Like, I don't know, how would you compare the Saga songs against each other? Like those kinds of things. Yeah, I think we got to do a ranking the sagas. I'm sure we could look at this and sort of piece together how we feel about each saga. Like Ocean Saga is pretty up there, and Circe Saga is pretty down there. Yeah, true. I guess like we can kind of get like how we would rank the sagas, but I guess like I'm thinking, I guess you can assume the songs within the sagas as well. Like it's right here. Yeah. But, well, we don't have them in exact order. There's some that are.
These are not ordered within the tiers, just the tiers themselves.
We'll think about it. We'll think.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, we have a sister video to this one ranking the songs not based on story, but based on the songs themselves and how much we vibe to them and how good they are. And that is over on Meadow's channel. So after you have subscribed here, which I know you're going to do because you're amazing, go subscribe to Meadow. And I cannot wait to do more collabs with this woman. And thank you guys so much for watching. And goodbye.
Always love working with you, listen.
Thanks for watching. As always, I want to hear which of my opinions you guys liked or disagreed with in the comments, and don't forget to go subscribe to Meadow so you catch the next tier list. I want to shout out my patrons that make this all possible, especially Alyssa Tribolette, Benji, and Elliot Gaines. If you want to support me and get access to videos like this early, you can sign up to be a patron yourself with the link in the description. And until then, I will see you guys next time.